All right, we are live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is January 23rd. It's a little after 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at the markets. Got my morning Joe with me right now. I'm just waking up, and I got to tell you, I was feeling good until I saw the chart on GE this morning, and now I feel like I want to jump off a freaking bridge. Look at this. Pre-market. This thing was out at like 6:30. And it's already trading above its all-time highs. Apparently, GE had some crazy earnings that they beat, and look at it. And look how low it was just about a month or so ago. What's this? The weekly? Yeah, this is the weekly. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About a month and a half ago, this thing was trading at 160, and I wanted to buy it so bad, and I wish I did. And I don't know why I didn't, but I wish I did. And then I had another opportunity, another chance to buy it here, right around 170. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh man, this thing's pretty good level. Is it going to go lower? That's kind of why I didn't buy it, because I honestly thought it was, it could have sold off even lower as the rest of the market was selling off. And I'm kind of a pessimist, so I was hoping things would go lower. and And now look at this. It's just made an all-time new high. So, whew, this market moves quick, man. I mean, what a gain on this. Yesterday, Netflix had blowout earnings. Look at Netflix. I mean, they let me go to the daily chart here. Pre-morning, I don't think it was quite at $1,000, but it was up there. I mean, look where it closed the day before. All right, it put in a topping tail. Talk about a freaking fake out. All right at 20 and 50-day moving averages right here. There's a lot of resistance, right? So it traded higher throughout the day, but it sold off and it closed, 869. Okay, and then the next morning it blows out earnings and it just fucking goes through the roof. This thing was up like, I don't know, 125, $150. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, you could see here it made a high at 9.99. I mean, give me a freaking break. 9.99. Really? 9.99? What is this? A discount sale? Anyway, it sold off, and we'll see what happens today. You know, but these freaking algos, man, and this market has been so crazy with stimulus since COVID. It pisses me off how fast these moves go. You know. Speaking of fast, look at Oracle. The other day, Trump was talking about what is it, Stargate or something? I don't know what the name of that program that they're putting together. This thing also another great stock at a great level. Not too long ago, just a week ago, was trading at 150, $152. Right? Another one that I wanted to buy, which I didn't. I missed out on some good opportunities, man, this past week, and I'm pissed at myself for it. But wow, look at it now. I mean, look, just in the last, couple of days, look how much it moved up. It obviously sold off since yesterday, which a lot of stocks are selling off from yesterday. A lot of stocks were up yesterday. Look at Meta's actually still up this morning. I don't know why, but for example, Microsoft had a huge day yesterday as well because OpenAI is also involved in this new program that Trump is putting together. So this thing had a huge up day yesterday, and since then it's come back down a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Palantir had a big day yesterday. Tesla and MicroStrategy sold off. Bitcoin is lower. Let's go up here. Let's take a look at the spiders. So the spiders put in a new high yesterday. They actually broke above the all-time highs. You can't see it here. If you go to the SPX, let's take a look here and zoom in. SPX, tag that line. It where is it? 6,181 cents. I believe that is a new all-time high. Yeah, there you go. So look at this all-time high, 60.9997. It just beat it by a few pennies. Okay, and you know, it came back down, sold off. So interesting. Let's see what happens. So you see this trend line I have right here. That was a trend line that I put in for a possible head and shoulder pattern. All right, so you have a shoulder, head, right, and then shoulder, or it could have been head. It doesn't matter, shoulder. But there's the head and shoulder pattern there. And look what happened here. Now, a head and shoulder pattern, technically, you can't really. It doesn't. You know, take place. It doesn't go into effect unless the pattern, the stock closes below the trend line. Okay, so you see here, closed right here, number one. That's the first shoulder, so that's the beginning of it. Head, we'll call it right here. That's the head, neckline. All right, shoulder, and it closed right on the line. Okay, that one day, which it doesn't go into effect yet. It's not triggered yet. The following day, all right, it goes all the way down. So it breaks below the trend line, but it closed above the trend line. Okay, you see, it closed over the trend line. Now, had it closed here, right, or below the trend line somewhere, all right, you can see this one right here closed kind of right on the trend line. Had it closed lower, it would have taken effect. You'd want to wait for a confirmation, so you'd want to wait for the next day to see what the next day would happen if it continued to close lower. But it didn't. What happened? It closed above. Following day, it went higher. It confirmed higher, so it basically negated the you know, the breakdown, and it just continued to go up. Crazy. And so you kind of had like some resistance going on right here. Let's see if I can get this better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Good enough. So you had all this resistance right here. You've got this huge red bar, which is a down bar, and all this choppiness was inside this pattern, right? And it finally, so 3 days ago, it broke out of this downwards resistance. It broke above the moving averages, above that trend line. Huge day 2 days ago. That was the you know, day after the inauguration. And then yesterday, a huge gap up. Okay, tagged a new all-time high, and it sold off. So now the question is, do we continue to consolidate here and move higher, or do we come back down a little bit? I'd love to see a move down. I would love to see this thing come back down to $5,900. I'd love to see it come back down to $5,800. Well, we'll see what happens. But it's very bullish. Long term, very bullish. This thing has had a long look at this long term consolidation. Let's do a monthly chart pattern here. This is going back to, let me put this up. Oh, you can't, right here. So 95. When does this thing start? Yeah, kind of 95. All right, so I kind of started it back in 1995. All right, back in 95, this thing was trading at $500 or so, and it rode the upper end of this channel for 5 years or so, and then it couldn't break out, and it came in down. All right, back in 2000. Remember the 2000? I guess I wasn't trading back then. I didn't know shit about stocks back then. I still don't know much about stocks, but it basically sold off. Market sold off and consolidated right in the middle of this parallel channel. So this is a parallel channel. I love parallel channels because, you know, it's a huge trading. It's a range between, you know, the upper and the lower end of the lines, and you know, this is a beautiful, of all the parallel channels, this is probably the most amazing one that I've seen, because it's so long and it's been trading within this range for so long. I mean, look how beautiful this is. You know, it starts off at the upper end and it comes back into the middle. It trades in the middle for years. Another, you know, back from 02, 03 to 07. Goes lower now and trades, rides the lower end of this from basically 08, from the housing market crash. All right, up, 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 and it's a slow move up, slow move up, slow move up, and we get to the middle end of the parallel, and then COVID happens, and it comes back down to the bottom end of the parallel. I mean, that's crazy. All these years, you know, it took all these years to get from the bottom here up to the middle. What year was that? Yeah, 09. So 11 years to get to the middle, to get back to the middle, crashes down to the bottom. And then from 2020 to 2021, a year, okay? A year, it goes from the bottom to the top. And then since then, it comes back down into the middle in 22, and then it blows out through the freaking parallel. So for 20 years, this thing consolidated within, it stayed within this pattern. And for most of those 20 years, it was on the lower end of this parallel channel. And then since COVID stimulus put things into perspective, how much money the government printed and stimulated the market to get it to freaking go from the bottom end of this parallel channel to the top, come back into the middle, and then blow out. And this thing, honestly, I don't think it's ever going to come back below this line. I mean, it would take a massive, massive recession to come back below 5,000. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see it. Who knows? You know, analysts expect this market to go up to 7,000 by the end of this year, or even before the end, maybe by the middle. Some of them are talking that we'll probably, you know, get to 7,000 in the first 6 months and then correct. I mean, that's a huge move in 6 months if that really happens. Let's see. All right, let's see what's going on. So the metals, gold's been doing great lately. I know I'm all over the place, guys. I was gonna go down the list for you. There's so many things to talk about here, but you know, if you are not invested in gold, you might want to consider it, because gold had a huge move really the last couple of years, and it's, you know, it came back down. I mean, this thing went from hang on, I gotta fix my chart. What's this over here? 1,600 from November 2022 all the way up to $2,800 basically. That's huge. 1,200 bucks? No, sorry, 28. So I'm still half asleep, guys. My math isn't mathing. We got 1,200 bucks. But this thing's about to break out. You know, I thought for sure this would come back down. It would sell off and go a little bit lower, down to maybe $2,400, but I don't think that's going to happen. You know, unless something drastic changes, I think gold is going to continue to go higher. I mean, it could still come down. I mean, you see this triangular pattern that I had set here. But I would say we could see gold at least from, let me see here, if I do the math, 2,500, 27. So let's call it 200 bucks. So $200 from here, 28. This thing's going back up to 28 at least. It could retest this highs and then come down lower. We'll see. We'll see. Or it could continue to go higher, well above 3,000. All right. Oil is selling off thanks to drill, baby, drill. You see here, it put in a huge topping tail last week. All right, it tagged that 200-day moving average. It broke. It basically was consolidating within this triangular pattern as well. And for a while, it looked like it was going to go lower, right? So it stayed within this range. A lot of support right here along this lower trend line and a lot of resistance up here. And it was trading within the triangle. And for a while, it broke the low. It wanted to come back up, hit resistance, came back down, consolidated, and it broke up. And you know, sometimes the markets do funny things to get into better positions to make more money and fake people out. So it looked like it was going to break out. It broke out of the this resistance line, and now it's going lower. So we'll see. Right now, it found some support. It's at the 50-day moving average. We'll see what happens here. You know, if drill baby drill is supposed to lower prices, then that means oil is going to go lower. And if it goes lower, let me go to a monthly chart pattern here. If it goes lower, if we take this high, $95, down to this low, which is 67, so we'll call it 30 bucks. $30, and then if we go up to this high, 87, take $30 off of that price, that'll bring it down to 57 bucks. So it didn't quite get there. It made it down to 65, 66. It's been consolidating sideways, made a move up, and now who knows? This could be the next leg down afterwards, right? So we could see this thing trading down lower from here. As you can see, though, it's got a lot of support in the $60, $55 range, 47. Obviously, COVID happened and that came down even lower. I don't think that's going to happen, but what do I know? Anything can happen, I suppose. But I don't think we're going to see oil much lower than 50. There's a lot of support right here. A lot of support. So, and that's on a monthly basis. All right. 17 minutes. What else can we talk about? Natural gas. Let's take a look at natural gas. Natural gas has been on an upwards move. This thing killed me a couple of years ago. I got into it here. And I rode this thing for 2 freaking years, man. 2 freaking years. 2 freaking years waiting for it to break out. And I got out of it in February of 24. I would say February, right around here. Yeah, right around here. And lo and behold, since then, it made its way back up. Look at this. And it's finally breaking out. So here's another one that I had some patterns on. Let me do something for you guys right here. Let's take a look at this. Perfect. So this, for 2 years, could not break out of this trend line. All right, it was trading within this resistance level, and finally, the last probably 3 to 5 months, 6 months, as you can see, about 6 months ago, it bottomed out right here, and it's been moving up ever since. And this thing has basically been moving opposite of technology. So what I've noticed is when all the money is in tech, people are out of everybody's out of natural gas, and when money leaves tech, it gets poured into natural gas, and that's on a daily basis too. So this now has had a huge breakout over the last 6 months, and I believe this is going to be a long-term play, because for 2 years, more, probably 2.5 years, this thing made, let's go back to the monthly. This thing made lows. I mean, if you go back to, several years ago, look at this. Every time natural gas makes a low in this range, $1.40,